Besides the basic Aryan pantheon, Indian mythology has a huge number of local gods. Some of them existed even before the Aryan pantheon and have a pretty high status in the celestial hierarchy. Although the gods of Indian mythology are primarily worshipped by the Hindus, these ancient local gods are so ingrained in the culture of the concerned population that they are revered even by the non-Hindus in their areas of influence. Goddess Manasa, the goddess of serpents, poisons and fertility, is one of these non-Aryan local gods who is worshipped throughout a major part of Southeast Asia. Stories of her origin, popularity among the common folk, and her struggle to become a powerful goddess are so intriguing that I think reimagining her in a Dungeons and Dragons universe will be a blast. So today, we are going to imagine Goddess Manasa as a D&D hero and make an artwork of her as such. There are several origin stories around Goddess Manasa. The local legends see her as the daughter of Lord Shiva, the primordial god of destruction. The Purans, which are considered to be basic Hindu scriptures, gives a different account. There, Goddess Manasa is born from the mind of the grand sage Kashyap to stop the mayhem brought upon the earth by the serpents. And Lord Brahma, the primal god of creation, made her the goddess of serpents to control these monsters. In both cases, she is a member of the Naga clan, a mythical clan primarily made up of serpentine humans and snakes with supernatural powers. The Naga clan is extremely powerful, well versed in both magical and physical abilities, and members of this clan often play significant roles in Indian mythology. They are also known to be one of the major races to clash with the mythological humans, and as such, the scriptures often describe them as mystical, grandiose, and also somewhat distrustful. As a result, Goddess Manasa, a goddess hailed from the serpent people, was not widely worshipped by the high-class humans, despite being the daughter of a primordial god and a goddess who saved the earth from the chaos of the serpents and reptiles. She was extremely popular among the common folk and also among the females, as she is also the goddess of fertility. There is an epic on how she, from being abandoned by the Aryan pantheon, finally managed to get reverence from even the high-class humans, making her a goddess accepted by all of mankind and earning her the seat she deserved in the pantheon. This brings us to today's drawing and discussion, that is to imagine her in Dungeons and Dragons universe. In the previous video where I first introduced the character description, I found it to be most enjoying part to write. In D&D games or any other fantasy genre games, I think that creating character backstory is one of the most interesting things to do, besides character customization. And I am sure most of you also feel the same. Please comment if I am right in this case. So this time, her character description will be more fleshed out, but before that, let's delve into race, class and other character creation stuff. Goddess Manasa is a member of Naga race. However, she is not entirely a Naga by blood because her origin is tied with Lord Shiva. In the video with Lord Shiva, we imagined him as a Scourge Aasimar. So Goddess Manasa will be part Aasimar. Now, in Dungeons and Dragons, the Yuan-ti are the closest to fit the appearance of the Naga race, with the Dragonborn being second, considering the heritage and influence of the Naga in Indian mythology. But we are going with the Yuan-ti. The Yuan-ti is actually one of the evil chaotic races in Dungeons and Dragons, and most of them have turned into monster snake people through rituals. However, the Yuan-ti Pureblood, a subrace among them, is almost human with serpentine features, and members of this subrace can be good or neutral. Some even live in the societies. So it is possible to make Goddess Manasa a mixed blood with an Aasimar father and Yuan-ti Pureblood mother. Aasimar and Yuan-ti both get bonus in charisma, so Manasa will get charisma bonus. She will also get poison immunity, fitting for her being the goddess of poison in mythology, magic and celestial resistance, and animal friendship with snakes, which is also apt for her as the goddess of serpents. Both Aasimar and Yuan-ti heritage give her dark vision. For languages, she can speak, read and write common, celestial, abyssal and draconic. According to Indian mythology, Goddess Manasa presides over all the serpents and venomous creatures. She is also revered for curing the effects of any kind of poison. So we think Druid class with the Circle of the Shepherd subclass is the best choice here. Druids are natural healers, and those belong to the Circle of the Shepherd have deep companionship with the animals. This resonates with her command over snakes and other venomous animals, and also with the aspect of protecting and healing creatures of the natural world. She can also converse with serpents through speak with animal spell, which is a defining trait of druids in Dungeons and Dragons. As a Circle of the Shepherd druid, she also gets powerful animal summoning and spirit totem spells like Mighty Summoner, Conjure Animals, Guardian Spirit, Faithful Summons, Insect Plague, Spirit Totem, etc. Dominant Beast spell can be compared with her control over reptiles and serpents, which prevented the chaos unleashed by these monstrous snakes. Druidic rituals can also be extended to the fertility aspect, with healing and restoration spells like Cure Wounds, Mass Cure Wounds, Heal, True Resurrection, and Greater Restoration. The Hero's Feast spell can symbolize her ability to bring prosperity and protection to her followers. However, shapeshifting through wild shape spells, an iconic feature of the Druids, can be ignored here, because mythologically the goddess never shapeshifted into an animal. Most Yuan-ti are evil by nature. In case of Yuan-ti Purebloods, occasionally good or neutral characters can be seen, mostly in the cases where they prefer to leave their past behind and live among the common people. On the other hand, Aasimars, being part of celestial entities, are rarely evil in nature. So this dual ancestry with influences from the mythologies, we can go with neutral good or chaotic good here. The common mistrust towards someone with Yuan-ti heritage can be a big obstacle for Manasa to be lawful good, because following established rules and procedures can cause a lot of problem for her, where laws can be harsh towards someone with her heritage. In mythology too, the goddess had to fight the established customs of high-class humans and Aryan pantheon to earn her rightful place. Moreover, as a druid who has deep connection with the nature and animals, strictly following man-made laws can cause a lot of irritation. That's why neutral good or chaotic good will be fitting in this case. For now, let's go with neutral good. Before becoming a prominent Hindu god, Manasa was well-known and well-revered local goddess. She has been extremely popular among the common folk. So going into Dungeons and Dragons, I think folk hero is a perfectly applicable as her background. Her D&D background as a folk hero profoundly shapes her personality and actions. The folk hero background comes with proficiency in animal handling and survival, enabling her to navigate the wilds with ease and forge deep connections with the creatures of all kinds. Stat point allocation for a specific class is generally inclined to one or more specific attributes, with minor variations according to player choices. Like in case of Druid, Wisdom will be the primary attribute. For Fighters, Strength or Constitution based on choice. For Rogues, it should be Dexterity and so on. Choosing feats and class features are also based on class and subclass with player specific deviations. Now, although these variations are what make playing a character interesting, without a specific campaign at hand, brainstorming on these feels a little tedious. At least I have felt such in my previous videos. So this time, we are leaving those choices to you. If you ever want to play as a reimagined mythical god or an avatar of him or her in your next campaign, and going straight to the most fun part of a character creation, the description and backstory. Manasa's life began in the shadows of two intersecting worlds, a convergence of destinies as unique as the stars that guided her parents. Born to a Scourge Aasimar monk father and a Yuan-ti Pureblood mother, her existence was a living paradox, a bridge between two clashing legacies. Her father, a disciplined monk devoted to the path of balance and justice, found his heart captivated by a wandering Yuan-ti scholar. Unlike the power-hungry members of her kin, this scholar pursued knowledge and wisdom, walking a path few of her kinds dared to tread. Their union was whispered of in disapproval, a scandal in both Aasimar circles and Yuan-ti enclaves. For her father's kind, she represented a dilution of celestial purpose. For her mother's people, a betrayal of serpentine purity. Manasa's journey to becoming a druid of the circle of the Shepherd began with a tragedy that reshaped her understanding of the world. Her parents, outcast in both their communities, sought refuge in the untamed wilderness, where they built a humble life away from the judgmental gauges of the society. In this sanctuary, Manasa grew up attuned to the rhythms of nature. She spent her days wandering through lush forests, listening to the whispers of the wind and the rustling of leaves. Animals seemed to flock to her, sensing the kinship that radiated from her very being. An innate connection to snakes and other reptiles marked her as a natural extension of her mother's lineage. But soon the situation changed. Her father, a well-known adventurer, sought by heroes and kings alike in every corner of the land for his martial prowess, left her with her mother to fulfill his duties. And one fateful day, their sanctuary was discovered by a band of zealots who sought to eradicate what they called abominations. They set fire to her home, and in the chaos, she got separated from her mother. Alone and grief-stricken, Manasa fled deep into the forest, seeking solace among the creatures she always had felt a connection to. It was in the heart of this despair that she stumbled upon an ancient grove, a sacred place pulsing with primordial energy. There, she encountered an elder druid of the Circle of the Shepherd, a gentle soul named Neto, who had dedicated her life to protect the vulnerable and the voiceless. Sensing the immense potential within Manasa, Neto took her in, teaching her the ways of the druids. Under her guidance, Manasa learned to channel her innate connection to the natural world, mastering the art of summoning and guiding the spirits of the beasts. Her bond with animals deepened, and she came to see herself as their protector. Manasa's path as a druid of the Circle of the Shepherd became her way of healing the wounds of her past. She vowed to use her unique heritage and gift not as a curse but as a source of strength, uniting the celestial light of her father with the serpentine wisdom of her mother. Her appearance is both mesmerizing and unnerving. From her mother, Manasa inherited the serpentine grace and traits of the Yuan-ti. Her red-hued skin glimmered with faint, mauve-tinged scales that caught the light like precious metals, a sign of her unique bloodline. Her father gifted her piercing golden eyes, orbs that seemed to pierce the veils of deceit and unravel truths others sought to conceal. The radiant inner light of her Aasimar heritage shines faintly within her, a presence that sets her apart even among the outsiders. Her long, flowing brown hair cascades down her back like a waterfall of silk, reaching all the way to her feet. She dresses in a shirt adorned with golden scales, with flowing robe of earthly greens and reds, with insignias of serpentine and riverine motifs. Despite her commanding presence, her voice holds a softness, a melodic quality that seems to soothe even the most hardened of hearts. Those who approached her with fear often found themselves inexplicably calmed, drawn into her aura of quiet strength and enigmatic charm. Manasa is rarely alone. Her closest companions are her serpents, each with his own name and personality. These serpents, along with countless others, form a network of allies that extends her influence across the wilds. Her bond with them is so profound that they act as an extension of her will, their actions coordinated as if guided by a single mind. Manasa's interactions with the adventurers are bittersweet. She longs to be a part of a group, to share in the camaraderie and glory of heroic quests. But her Yuan-ti ancestry, with its association of treachery and manipulation, casts a long shadow. To adventurers and heroes, her presence is unsettling. Her serpentine companions and unearthly appearance make her an object of fear. Even those who recognize her value in battle often do so grudgingly, unable to fully trust her despite her actions. She is often relegated to the role of a last resort, called upon only when her unique powers are indispensable. In battle, her presence is undeniable. Her serpents swarm foes, her healing magic revives fallen allies, and her spectral guardians shield the vulnerable. But the guilds and adventurers treat her nothing more than a volatile mercenary, keeping distance even at the campfire, with unkind whispers at her back. They trust her to save their skin, but not enough to share a meal around the fire. So, after every adventure, she is back to square one, left alone with just a fat purse of gold. Despite this, she harbors no resentment. Her altruism and love for adventure drive her to assist even those who reject her. In between getting rejected by adventurers' guilds and mistrusted by established parties, Manasa turns her attention to those who need her most: the poor, the outcast, and the forgotten. In the slums of human cities, she heals the sick with her druidic magic. In halfling villages, she protects crops from invasive pests. Among dwarves, she restores life to desolate mines. And among tieflings, she offers solace and understanding in a world that often shunned them. Even goblins and bugbears, often treated as nothing more than monsters, found in her a protector and healer. Her ideas revolve around balance and justice, believing that the strong should defend the weak and that every creature, no matter how small or feared, has a place in the natural order. Her reputation grew, and with it, the reverence of those she helped. To many, she became a living goddess, a symbol of hope and compassion. Despite her reluctance to accept such titles, she wears the reverence of the common folk with grace, using it to advocate for their needs and to challenge the prejudice of those in power. Bonds tie her to common folk who revere her as a protector, and to the serpents she treats as family. Her legacy is not measured in gold or titles, but in the lives she touches. She is a hero to the common folk, a symbol of hope in a world that often overlooks them. Her name is spoken with reverence in halfling burrows, dwarven halls, and tiefling enclaves alike. Children sing songs of her deeds, and storytellers weave tales of the serpent shepherd who protects the weak and punishes the wicked. Yet, Manasa remains humble. She sees herself not as a goddess, but as a servant of nature and the people. Her greatest joy comes not from fame or recognition, but from the smiles of those she helps. She dreams of a world where her heritage no longer matters, where she is judged not by the scales on her skin, but by the goodness in her heart. Despite her solitary nature and the mistrust she often faces, Manasa holds an unyielding hope of finding true companionship. She dreams of forming bonds with adventurers who see beyond her serpentine heritage and value her for her virtues. Her heart yearns for the camaraderie of a fellowship that accepts her without fear, where her unique powers and compassionate spirit are embraced. This hope keeps her open to collaboration, even with those who approach her reluctantly. Though she often works alone, the idea of sharing laughter by campfire, facing perilous challenges together, and earning mutual respect motivates her to join adventuring parties whenever the opportunity arises. So, here is the final artwork of Goddess Manasa as a Dungeons and Dragons hero. I have drawn her in a calming pose, standing on a lotus and playing with her serpent companions. I preferred yellow, gold and red, mostly because these colors are often associated with the goddess. The background is drawn to express the godhood she has been bestowed upon by the common folk she helps. She is basically a self-made god, born to command venomous beings and turned that into helping people and animals alike. Hope you like the art and the discussion. Tell us which mythological fictional character you want to see as a fantasy hero or villain next, and we will be drawing them while discussing it with you. If you like this video, please check out our channel where we make art, discuss on mythology, stories, video games and many other things. You can also like and share this video and leave a valuable comment. Subscribe to our channel is also very much appreciated. We are also available for art commissions. You can check out the links given in the description. Thank you. See you soon.